Okay, so I am recording now. I'm going to read a chapter out of John Maxwell's book for personal development. It's the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. It's really good if you need a book to read. You can also get the audio. And he has a podcast too about leadership. To start this, we're going to do personal development and then a power hour. For the personal development part, we're doing the book, but I want you guys to make sure you go on Facebook and post about the giveaway that we're having this month. So this is January. We are doing a $100 Target gift card on Jade's page. So if you want to post a status that's like drop a picture of your fur baby below and you can enter to win a $100 Target gift card, you can do that. You can do any type of status to try to get people to enter. People do like favorite recipe, favorite cookie recipe, what's your New Year's resolution, and I'll enter you to win my $100 Target gift card. So get that status posted now, and then later when in the power hour, we can be answering people that comment on the status. Okay, so this is about the growth thrives in conducive surroundings. The first step towards success is taken when you refuse to be a captive of the environment you must find yourself in. I believe at some point during every person's lifetime, there comes a need to change environments in order to grow. That may seem obvious in the case of someone like Janetta McSwan, whom I wrote about in the Law of Mirror chapter, since she grew up in a terrible situation and suffered horrible abuse. But I also believe it's true for even people who have grown up in a positive, nurturing environment. If we want to grow to reach our potential, we must be in the right environment. That usually requires us to make changes in our life. Time for a change. I grew up in a great home environment. I had two loving parents. My father led our family proactively, helping each of us three kids find our purpose and develop our talents. My mother loved us unconditionally. And believe me, there were days when I know I was a challenge because I didn't like the rules and was always pushing boundaries. I had a lot of friends. I received a good education. I headed off to a career I loved after marrying my high school sweetheart. What could be better? But less than 10 years into my career, I realized that the environment I was in wasn't conducive to reaching my full potential. In my late 20s, I was already being considered to lead the premier church in denomination. I wanted to learn a lot more, and by their grooming me for a position so early in my career, I felt like they were saying that I was at the top of the class. What's the problem with that? If you're always at the head of the class, then you're in the wrong class. The best place to learn is always where others are ahead of you. Just to set the record straight, so you don't think I'm bragging, I need to tell you that I was a medium-sized fish in a very small pond. I wasn't as good as they were giving me credit for. The people in my denomination were good people. I admired the character and integrity of many of their leaders. So that wasn't the problem. I just knew I needed more room to grow. To do that, I would have to change environments. I went to my father, a lifelong pastor in the organization, who had been a college president and an executive in the denomination's leadership, and talked with him about the issue. He agreed that I needed to move on into a larger pond so I could grow more easily. That took my understanding and courage on his part, because after I left, he would remain in the organization and he would endure a lot of criticism from others in the organization for my move. But he did it with grace, and he always supported my decision. And I feel certain that had I remained where I was, I would have not grown the way I have, nor would I have come as far. So change depends on your choices. You've probably seen the phrase, growth equals change. It's possible to change without growing, but it's impossible to grow without changing. One of the keys to making the right changes that allows us to grow is knowing the differences between a problem or a challenge, which I can change, and a fact of life, which I cannot. For example, one day as a teenager, I looked into the mirror and came to the realization I was not a handsome guy. It was a fact of life. I couldn't change my face. What was I going to do? I made a decision. I would change my attitude about it. I would smile. Did it change my face? No, not really, but it helped me look better. Like me, you must deal with many facts of life. You cannot change where and when you were born. You cannot change who your parents are. You cannot change your height or your DNA. You can change your attitude about them. You must do your best to live with them. A problem is different. A problem is something you can do something about. It's something you can grow through. How? Ironically, it begins with a similar step. a change in attitude. When you change your attitude regarding a problem, you open up with many opportunities for growth. Businessman, author, and speaker Nito asserted, whether you are a success or a failure in life has little to do with your circumstances. It has much more to do with your choices. What choices do you need to make so you are in a conducive surroundings where you will thrive and grow? When it comes to environment, I believe we need to make the following 6 choices to put ourselves in a better place for growth. Number 1, assess your current environment. Professor and preacher Ernest Campbell tells a story about a lonely woman who purchased a parrot from a pet store. After only one day of having it, she returned to the store and told the storekeeper how disappointed she was with it. That parrot hasn't said a word yet, she lamented. Does it have a mirror? Said the storekeeper. Parrots like to be able to look at themselves in the mirror. So the lady bought a mirror and returned home. The next day, she was back at it again, reporting that the bird still wasn't speaking. What about a ladder? The storekeeper said. Parrots enjoy walking up and down ladders. So the parrot owner bought a ladder and returned home. On the 3rd day, she was back again and the same complaint. Does this parrot have a swing? Said the storekeeper. Birds enjoy relaxing on swings. She bought the swing and went home. The next day she returned to the store and announced that the bird had died. I'm terribly so sorry to hear that, said the storekeeper. Did the bird ever say anything before it died? Yes, said the lady. It said, don't they sell any food down here? What was the moral of this silly story? Change just for the sake of change is not going to help you. If you're going to make changes, you must make sure they're the right ones. How do you do that? Start by assessing where you are now and why you want to change. When I was considering making the transition from one professional environment to the other, I spent a good amount of time examining why I wanted to change. For me, there were 3 main reasons to make the transition. 1, I had gone to the top too fast. 2, I did not feel challenged enough. And 3, there was nowhere else I wanted to go in the organization. Those factors were enough to make me look at the uncomfortable truth of needing to make changes to where I was and what I was doing. One of the ways to judge whether you're growing and in a conducive growth environment is to discern whether you're looking forward to what you're doing or looking back at what you've done. If the future looks dull, routine, confining, you may need to start looking to make changes. Like me, you may be able to intuitively sense if you are not in the kind of environment that is going to promote your growth. However, if you find it difficult to make that judgment about your situation, then you can approach it from another direction. You can ask yourself questions to help you understand who and what nurtures you personally, and then figure out whether or not you're getting those things. Here's a list of questions to get you started. Music. What songs lift me? Thoughts. What ideas speak to me? Experiences. What experiences rejuvenate me? Friends. What people encourage me? Recreation. What activities revive me? Soul. What spiritual exercises strengthen me? Hopes. What dreams inspire me? Home. What family members care for me? Giftedness. What blessings activate me? Memories. What recollections make me smile? Books. What have I read that changed me? You get the idea. I'm sure you'll be able to add other categories and questions to help you understand what encourages you to grow. The main idea is to know yourself and to assess whether you're getting what you need in your current environment. If you are, celebrate. If you're not, prepare yourself to make some hard choices. Number 2, change yourself and your environment. If you know that you need to make a major change to your environment, there's something you must keep in mind. You must also determine to change yourself at the same time. Here's why if you want to try. Change yourself, but not your environment. Growth will be slow and difficult. Change your environment, but not yourself. Growth will be slow and less difficult. Change your environment and yourself. Growth will be faster and more successful. By putting together at the same time, you increase and accelerate your chances for success. When I first realized I needed to grow after the encounter with Kurt, and I recount it in the law of intentionality, I found it difficult to actually do. Few people shared my enthusiasm for growth. I had few models. Most of the people around me in my little world were content to work hard and merely make a living. I wanted more than that. I wanted to make an impact. During that time, I remember sitting down and thinking about what a growth environment would look like. Over the course of many weeks, I penned what I call my growth environment. It's helped to guide my decision-making, personal growth since I wrote it down in 1973. It says in a growth environment, others are ahead of me. I am continually challenged. My focus is forward. The atmosphere is affirming. I'm often out of my comfort zone. I wake up excited. Failure is not my enemy. Others are growing. People desire change. Growth is modeled and expected. When my intuition was telling me that my environment wasn't conducive to personal growth, I went back to that list and found that most of those statements did not apply to my current situation. So I determined to change myself and change my environment.
Go. Right here.
Sorry, guys. If you read that list and you sense that most of those statements do not apply to your life, you may need to do the same thing. I learned a lot about changing myself in 1975 when I attended a conference in Waterloo, Iowa. At the conference, I saw Charles Jones for the first time. It was there that I also met an author whose books I admired, Elmer Towns. I was surprised but delighted when he invited me to sit next to him on a flight to Chicago on our way home so we could talk. During our conversation, he taught me that the hot poker principle. Do you know how to get a poker hot? Elmer asked me. Put it next to the fire. He then went on to explain that we're a lot like the metal in a poker. If our environment is cold, we're cold. If it's hot, we're hot. If you want to grow, he said, then spend time with the people, visit places, attend great events, read great books, listen to tapes. Those words sent me on my quest to meet with leaders around the country who were ahead of me professionally. It changed my life. As you consider changing yourself and your environment, think about the elements and the right kind of growth environment provide. The right soil to grow in, what nourishes me, growth. The right air to breathe in, what keeps me alive, purpose. The right climate to live in, what sustains me, people. They say that if you put a pumpkin in a jug when it's the size of a walnut, it will grow to the size and the shape of the jug and never get bigger. That can happen to a person's thinking. Don't allow that to happen to you. Number 3, change who you spend your time with. Early in my life, I learned the importance of the right environment and who I spent my time with. My parents were very wise in this area. Though my parents never had a lot of money when we were growing up, they created the kind of home environment where all our friends went to come and spend time. My dad made a basketball court by pouring concrete on a pad and putting up a basketball hoop. They fitted out our basement as a kid's paradise, complete with a pool table, ping pong table, and chemistry set. We had a few reasons to hang out anywhere but home, and our friends had every reason to come over. And my mother was always around getting to know all the kids. She influenced all the friends she could and warned us about the behaviors of those who might lead us into trouble. She and my dad understood the birds of a feather flock together and their efforts paid off. Kids flowed to the house. Even today, more than 5 decades later, whenever I see any of the people I grew up with, they still talk about coming over to my house as a kid and hanging out in our basement canteen. It was a destination. According to research by social psychologist Dr. David McClelland of Harvard, the people with whom you habitually associate are called your reference group. And these people determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. Jeez. Many people have given their time their take on this truth. King Solomon of Israel wrote, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Charles Jones is well known for saying, "You are the same today that you're going to be in 5 years from now, except for 2 things, the people with whom you associate and the books you read." And Jim Rohn asserted that we become the combined average of the 5 people we hang around the most. Rohn would say we could tell the quality of our health, attitude, and income by looking at the people around us. He believed that we start to eat what they eat, talk like they talk, read what they read, think like they think, watch what they watch, and dress like they dress. I like the way Sue Enquist said the issue. Enquist has been called the John Wooden of women's softball. She played for UCLA from 1975 to 1978, returned in 1990 as assistant coach, and then served as head coach from 1989 to 2006. As a player and coach, she helped win a total of 11 NCAA softball titles. She retired with a career coaching record of whatever that number is, 0.835 winning percentile. That puts her among the top 5 NCAA coaches of all time. Enquist has espoused the 33% rule. She says you can divide people in school, on your team, at work, or anywhere else into the bottom, middle, and top thirds, and they will always have the same characteristics. The bottom third suck the life out of you because nothing is ever good going to come from them. They take the energy and motivation out of the environment. The middle third are happy and positive when things are going well, but down in times of adversity. Circumstances dictate their attitude. The top third maintain a positive attitude even through tough times. They're leaders, influencers, game changers. Those kind of people we should try to be, and those are the kind of people we should be spending our time with. It is not always comfortable, but it's always profitable to associate with people larger than ourselves. As the Italian proverb says, keep company with good men and you will increase their number. What kinds of larger people should we spend our times with? People with integrity, people who are positive, people who are ahead of us professionally, people who uplift us instead of knocking us down, people who take the high road, never the low road, and above all, people who are growing. They should be like Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau, whose question for each other whenever they met was, what have you learned since we last met? I highly recommend that you find an accountability partner to take your growth journey with you. That person will help you stick with the right decisions and help you avoid making the wrong ones. A good accountability partner should love you unconditionally, desire your success, be mature, ask you agreed upon questions, help when you need help. You cannot take the growth journey alone, not if you want to reach your potential. The most significant factor in any person's environment is the people. If you change nothing else in your life for the better than that, you will have increased your chances of the success tenfold. So think long and hard about who you're spending the most time with. For wherever they are headed, so are you. Number 4, challenge yourself in your new environment. I once heard a story about a Japanese artist who painted a picture on a large canvas. Down in one corner was a tree, and on the limbs of the tree were some birds. The rest of the canvas was bare. When he asked if he was going to paint something more to fill the rest of the canvas, he said, "Oh no, I have to leave room for the birds to fly." One of the most positive things about being in a growth environment is that it gives you room to fly, but you must be intentional about finding and creating those growth opportunities. You must develop the habit and discipline of challenging yourself. One of the first few ways that I challenged myself was by making my goals public. Few things push a person like a deadline and an audience. That didn't mean I always reached my goals, but I found that if I told others what I tended to do, I worked harder and I worked in such a way that I wouldn't be ashamed of my efforts, even if everyone was watching them. Another way I've challenged myself, both when I started and still today, is to look for one major growth opportunity every week. Follow through on it and learn from it. Whether it's meeting with friends, a learning lunch with a mentor, a conference I'm attending, or a speaking event where I might get time with the high-profile leaders, I always prepare the same way. By asking 5 questions before the learning time, I ask, what are their strengths? This is where I'll learn the most. What are they learning now? This is how I can catch their passion. What do I need right now? This helps me to apply what I learned to my situation. Who have they met? What have they read? Or what have they done that has helped them? This helps me to find additional growth opportunities. What haven't I asked that I should have? This enables them to point out changes I need to make from their perspective. Drink some of this. Trying to drink my greens. A better growth environment won't help you much if you don't do everything in your power to make the most of it. It's like an entrepreneur giving money for new opportunities and never using it. You must seize the growth opportunities you have and make the most of them by challenging yourself. Number 5, focus on the moment. Let me make sure. Okay, good. The changes we want to make in our lives come only in present. What we do now controls who we become and where we are in the future. We live and work in the present. As Harvey Firestone Jr. said, today is when everything that's going to happen from now on begins. If you need to make changes in yourself and your environment, don't worry about your past. I read that former movie star and diplomat Shirley Temple Black learned about the power of living in the moment from her mother-in-law. Evidently, when her husband, Charles, was a boy, he asked his mother, "What was the happiest moment of your life?" "This moment right now," she responded. But what about all the other happy moments of your life? What about when you were married? He asked. She laughed and said, my happiest moment then was then. My happiest moment now is now. You can only really live in the moment you're in. So to me, that's always the happiest moment. Mother Teresa observed, yesterday is gone, tomorrow has not yet come. We only have today, let us begin. If you need to make some changes in yourself and your environment, don't dwell on your past. You can't change it. Don't worry about your future. You can't control it. Focus on the current moment and what you can do now. Number 6, move forward despite criticism. In his classic, The Science of Getting Richer, author Wallace D. Wattles writes, do not wait for change of environment before you act. Cause a change of environment through action. You can act upon your present environment as to cause yourself to be transferred to a better environment. Growth always comes from taking action, and taking action almost always brings criticism. Move forward anyway. To reach your potential, you must do not only what others believe you cannot do, but what even you believe you cannot do. Most people underestimate themselves. They shoot for what they know they can reach. Instead, they should reach for what's beyond their grasp. If you don't try to create the future you want, you must endure the future you get. As you take action to change yourself and your environment, you will almost certainly be criticized for it. Poet Ralph Waldo Emerson observed, whatever course you decide upon, there is always someone to tell you that you're going to do it wrong. There are always difficulties arising which tempt you to believe that your critics are right. To map out a plan of action and follow it to the end requires some of the same courage which a soldier needs. Peace has its victories, but it takes brave men to win them. When I was sensing that I needed to change environments in my career, the organization offered me the best position they had. It was a very generous thing for them to do, but I knew with great certainty that I had to make a transition and go into a different direction, so I declined their offer. Unfortunately, they felt rejected. And then they criticized my decision. That's okay. As Speaker Les Brown says, someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Their words hurt, but they didn't make me question my decision. Albert Joffrey asserts, when you take charge of your life, there is no need to ask permission of other people or society at large. When you ask permission, you give someone veto power over your life. Before making a major change, seek wise counsel if you can, but make your own decisions. You're ultimately accountable for the choices you make in your life. A note for leaders. As I grew in my career and began leading larger organizations, my growth challenge began to change. The need for me to grow was always there, and the need for me to find people who teach me has never changed. However, as a leader of an organization, I came to realize that it was my responsibility to create positive growth environment for others. I did that by using the same list I created for myself in 1973 and applying it to others. I strove to create a place where others are ahead of them, they're continually challenged, their focus is forward, their atmosphere is affirming, they're often out of their comfort zone, they wake up excited, failure is not their enemy, others are growing, people desire change, growth is modeled and expected. As the leader, it was my responsibility to take the initiative and create such an environment. It was hard work, but the effort was always worth it. Many people blossomed, grew, and became leaders as a result. When leaders match people to roles in the organization, it's not enough for them to weigh what people have done in the past. They must also consider what people could do if the environment allowed them to flourish. Likewise, it's a good idea to help people understand what will be missing for them when they leave a growth environment. I always try to do that during exit interviews with people as they moved on from any of my organizations. I tell them, you're leaving an environment where growth is a priority and people are encouraged and expected to develop. If you don't go into a similar environment, you can't expect to get the same results. You'll have to work extra hard to keep growing. Some understood and met challenges ahead of them. Others saw only what they hoped would be greener pastures and didn't understand the importance of a good environment until they hit walls they never experienced before. Never forget the law of environment. Growth thrives in conducive surroundings. If you are in a positive growth environment, be grateful. Thank the people who have helped to create it and reward them by striving to reach your potential. If you're not, do what you must to change your environment and yourself. And if you're a leader, do everything in your power to grow yourself and create the right environment in which others can grow too. It will be the best environment you ever made as a leader. Applying the law of environment to your life. Number 1, assess your current environment when it comes to growth by answering true or false questions about the following 10 statements. 1, others are ahead of me. 2, I am continually challenged. 3, my focus is forward. 4, the atmosphere is affirming. 5, I am often out of my comfort zone. 6, I wake up excited. Number 7, failure is not my enemy. Number 8, others are growing. Number 9, people desire change. Number 10, growth is modeled and expected. If you've answered false to any more than 5 of these statements, your current environment may be hampering your growth. You will need to determine whether you need to change or improve your environment in order to reach your potential. Number 2, assess your personal growth needs in 3 main areas mentioned in the chapter. The right soil to grow in, what nourishes me, growth. Use the following list from the chapter to create your own to assess what nourishes you. Music, what songs lift me? Thoughts, what ideas speak to me? Experiences, what experiences rejuvenate me? Friends, what people encourage me? Recreation, what activities revive me? Soul, what spiritual exercises strengthen me? Hopes, what dreams inspire me? Home, what family members take care of me? Giftedness, what blessings activate me? Memories, what recollections make me smile? Books, what have I read that changed me? The right air to breathe in, what keeps me alive? Question mark. Purpose. Review your answer to the questions at the end of the Law of Awareness and the Law of Consistency chapters. That was earlier ones. Use them to develop a purpose statement for your life. Don't expect it to be perfect or permanent. It will probably continue to grow and change as you do, but it'll give you a stronger sense of direction for now. The right climate to live in, what sustains me? People. Make a list of the people who are currently most influential in your life. Friends, family, colleagues, employers, mentors, and so on. Be sure to include anyone you spend a substantial amount with. Then scan the list and determine who on the list is larger than you, more skilled or talented, farther ahead professionally, more solid in character or any other significant way. If the majority of people are not stretching you, you need to find additional people who will help you change and grow. And lastly, number 3, significant growth will not occur in your life if you are not continually challenged in your environment. Set specific goals for yourself that are beyond your current capabilities. In addition, review your calendar for the upcoming month. Look at the best potential growth opportunity in each week and plan for it by asking yourself questions similar to the ones contained in the chapter. Okay, so I'm recording this so you can go back and do those exercises that he just said to do. I can post a picture too in our chat if you guys want to do that. I'm going to do Power Hour. Yeah. I know, Les Brown. That sounds like, he's like mentioning all these people. He's mentioned a lot of people. I have no idea who they are. I mean, I know who Shirley Temple is. And then I was like, oh, I know Les Brown. Okay. A lot of them were like older and stuff.
Well, he's been doing this for like a long time, hasn't he? Like he's been.
Yeah, I don't even know when this book came out. Let's see.
Yeah, he wrote down his first goals in like 19 something. It's crazy.
Yeah, 1973, I think he said.
1973, and the man is still growing, and the man is still learning new things about himself and writing books. It's crazy.
Oh, this came out in 2012.
Wow.
He has so many books though. Like, look at all those books. That's all.
Yeah, he has a lot. I like this one.
Yeah, I like this one. Just 7. If I didn't want to, like, I feel like we should just be like reading the book. It's so good. Remember when we did book club before? I liked that, but I would like to read it every week, like together, like a chapter every week. But maybe if we all people are reading, that would be better because I don't think I can read all the time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I like the book club too. That was a lot of fun, but I think us reading it together, I think would be really cool too. And we can just switch off reading a chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be smart. We should do that. Okay.
It's good for engagement too, right?
What'd you say, Spring?
It would be good for like team engagement and stuff. Don't mind me. I have gloves on. I have a mask. I'm freaking grinding the dog's nails, and
Look at you.
I hate it. I grind their nails because they're so hard to cut, super short. But the powder gets in my eyes and in my hands, and I'm like, bleh.
Yeah, so okay, so I'm recording. I'm gonna do the power hour. So I'm gonna do the daily 6 list just to make sure everything's done on there. So number 6 obviously is change your brain, and we just did that. So we just did that, but from a book, reading a chapter, which was so good. I thought that was awesome. Just like learning about like, I mean, we know that, right? That you are the 5 people you surround yourselves with, but it was just really good hearing from him that he was going over all the different things of environment and how that really affects you and just helps you grow as a person. Also, you guys have the list for the tally sheet. You can use that as well as we were going. I actually have to print a new one. Let me get a new one now. And then we can start. In the beginning of this, I don't think anyone was on, but I said to make sure you have like a host to post giveaway status today. It's Friday. People are going to like comment on it. I just did like Friday freebie, post a picture of your fur baby below to win a $100 Target gift card. Whatever the gift card is of the month if you're watching this in the future. But this month it's a $100 Target gift card giveaway. So that, where is the tally sheet? So you can get that up so people can be commenting on that. Because I was going to use the power hour time to be working on that too. And I'm going to try to find my tally sheet. So in the meantime, get a post up about the giveaway if you haven't done that today. And oh wow, it's 3 o'clock already. 10th, that is. Okay, so daily 6 list. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to play music actually. I think that's what I want to do. It's a good YouTube channel. Let's see. Top. 'Over dramatic and true. Oh, is this the big song? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to play music, and what we're going to do is 25, 20, 10, 10, 5. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to start from the bottom. So 5 minutes of growing our friends list. So we're going to add 15 people at least on Facebook and follow 200 at least on Instagram. You can do this really fast. I'm actually gonna, I'll set it for like 7 minutes because I want you guys to interact back on your Instagram people. So once you actually follow someone, I want you to like 3 other photos, unless they're private. But just for now, you can go interact with them later in the future. But I'm going to do 7 minutes, and we can just add on Facebook, add on Instagram. If you need ideas for adding on either one, Facebook, you can go to like groups and that you're a part of and just like add people from there. You can go to like local businesses and add people from there. I usually add other women that are around the same age that have similar interests to me. You can look at their profile picture and usually tell. And then what group they're in and what business what they like. And then on Instagram, I go to like, either you can go to people that you follow and go to their last photo and add some of their friends, or you can go to like a brand page that you like Skinny Tastes or FabFitFun and stuff like that. Like whatever brand that you think that you would have a lot of people in common that like that too, you can add people from their most recent posts. So I'm going to start the timer now for 7 minutes. Ready? Let's go. They'll save all your dirtiest jokes for me. And at every table, I'll save you a seat. Lover, can I go where you go? Can we always be this close forever and ever and ever? Take me out, take me home. You're mine, 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 mine. nauseous and my hands are shaking. I guess that means you're close by. My throat is getting dry and my heart is racing. I haven't been by your side in a minute, but I think about it sometimes. Even though I know it's not too distant. Oh no, I still wanna reminisce it. I think of the night in the park, it was getting dark and we stayed up for hours. What a time, what a time, what a time. You cling to my body like you wanted it forever. What a time, what a time, what a time for you and I. What a time, what a time for you and I. No, we didn't end it like we're supposed to. And now we get a bit tense. I wonder if my mind just leaves out all the bad parts. I know we didn't make sense. I admit it that I think about it sometimes. Even though I know it's not too distant. Oh no, I still wanna reminisce it. I think of the night in the park, it was getting dark and we stayed up for hours. What a time, what a time, what a time. You cling to my body like you wanted it forever. What a time, what a time, what a time for you and I. What a time, what a time for you and I. 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 I think of the night in the park, it was getting dark and we stayed up for hours. What a lie, what a lie, what a lie. You cling to my body like you wanted it forever. What a lie, what a lie, what a lie for you and I. What a lie, what a lie for you and I. For you and I. What a time, what a time, what a time for you and I. What a time, what a time for you and I. Wanna cross the ocean, memories and still be mine. We must be closer, closer, closer. We've been waiting all my life. I'm across the ocean. Memories and still be mine. Must be closer, closer, closer.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, but there's a place in both in mine. You know you stopped me dead when I was passing by. And I'll beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. In my I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And I beg to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. Never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me,
Okay, so now we're going to spend 10 minutes making sure that we have our life posts up for the day. I want you guys to make sure that you had at least one picture on Instagram, post it with your life post, at least one on Facebook with your life post. You did, since if you just did the gift card giveaway, wait to do your life post a little bit later, maybe like in an hour, but have it ready to go. If you already had yours for today and you know you're gonna have a busy weekend, spend some time making some for tomorrow and Sunday. Then you also just want to make sure that you are interacting on your Facebook and your Instagram too. So spend the 10 minutes timer to get some posts up if you don't have them up yet. Interact with people so they go look at your page and they see your posts. And then I want you guys to make sure you have slides going on. So you should be putting slides up all day on your story, on your Instagram and Facebook story. You can use the Instagram and Facebook stories chat that we have. But if you don't have any up, definitely put some up right now. Add a poll, and then you can get some people interested in the products. Make sure you're not just posting about the business all day long, though. You want to fill it in with your normal life as well. All right, I'm going to set timer 10 minutes, so we're going to be making sure we have our posts done, interacting, and getting stories up too.
When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. I said, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hand, my dears, and look me in my eyes. Just like a monkey, I've been dancing my life. You just beg to see me dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And I'm back to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. No, 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 yeah. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They said, move for me, move for me, move for me, yeah. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, yeah. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again, all again. I love it when you call me a señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need ya, but every touch is your love, it's your love. Oh, I should be running. Oh, you keep me coming for you. Out in my head. flowers up from somewhere else with different of me. Before I even knew her name, la la la. It felt like a la la la, yeah, no. Sapphire moonlight, we danced for hours in the same tequila sunrise. Her body feel right in my hands, la la la. It felt like a la la la, yeah. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need you, but every touch is true love. It's true love. Oh, I should be running. Oh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so damn hard to leave you, but every touch is true love. It's true love. Oh, I should be running. Oh, you keep me coming for you. I cannot hold down. There are just some things that never should. You say we just friends, but friends don't know the way you taste. La la la. Cause I know it's been a long time coming, that you let me fall. Ooh, when you listen, press me hooked on your tongue. Ooh, love you kisses, belly don't stop. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need you, but every touch is true love. It's true love. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you know I love you when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so hard to leave you, but every touch is true love. It's true love. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you keep me coming for you. All along I've been coming for you. And I hope it means something to you. Call my name, I'll be coming for you. Coming for you. Oh yeah. Oh, she love it when I come. Oh, and oh, you keep me coming for you. I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to save me. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the waiting. I'm not a plane. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled around. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved. And I tend to close my eyes when it hurts. Sometimes I fall into your arms. I'll be safe in your sound till I come back around. But now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled around. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved, but now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled around. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. It's been 24 hours, I need more hours with you. You spent the weekend getting even, oh. We spent the late nights making things right between us. But now it's all good, babe. Roll that backward, babe, and pay me low. Cause girls like you run around with guys like me to sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Girls like you love fun, get me too. I want when I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you. I spent last night on the last flight to you. We took a whole day up, trying to get way up. Ooh. We spent the daylight trying to make things right between us. And now it's all good, babe. Roll that backward, babe. Baby, close. Yeah, cause girls like you run around guys like me to sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you. Yeah, yeah, girls like you love trying to get me to what I want. When I come through, I need a girl like you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Maybe it's 6:45, and maybe I'm barely alive. And maybe this is really it for the last time. Maybe I know that I'm drunk. Maybe I know you're the one. Maybe I'm thinking it's better if you drive. Oh, cause girls like you run around with guys like me to sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Girls like you love funny, yeah.
All right, now we're gonna do. So we're gonna message. So we're gonna message until we have 3 to 5 back and forth combos. So this should take no more than like 25 minutes. But I think if you guys have the posts up about the giveaway, that will be easy to get some host to posts up. So let's spend this time getting host to posts up. You can use your tally sheet to mark off when you get at least 8 for the day. I'm gonna make my list right now. 8. So use this time to either just message about products, message about the business, or get host to post up. I'm going to work on getting host to post up.
To what I want when I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. I'm at a party I don't wanna be at, and I don't ever wear a suit and tie. Wondering if I could sneak up the back. Nobody's even looking me in my eyes. Can you take my hand, finish my drink, say shall we dance higher? You know I love you, did I ever tell you? You make it better like that. Don't think I fit in at this party. Everyone's got too much to say. I always feel like I'm nobody who wants to fit in anyway. Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. And you're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. Cause I don't care, as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. And you're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. We at a party we don't wanna be at. Trying to talk but we can hear ourselves. Bitch, your lips, I'd rather kiss them right back. With all these people all around, I'm crippled with anxiety. But I'm told it's where I'm supposed to be. You know what? It's kinda crazy cause I really don't mind. And you make it better like that. Don't think we fit in at this party. Everyone's got too much to say. Yeah. And we walked in, I said I'm sorry. But now I think that we should stay. Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. Yeah, you're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. Cause I don't care, as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. And you're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby. We couldn't turn around till we were upside down. I'll be the bad guy now. No, I ain't too proud. I couldn't be there, even when I try. You don't believe it. We do this every time. She's a strange in our love when we call. Feed the flame cause we can't let it go. Run away, but we're running circles. Run away, run away. I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you, I guess, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running circles. Run away, run away, run away. Let go. I got a feeling that it's time. I say so. I knew that this was known from the get-go. Thought that it was special, special, but it was just a sex phone, sex phone. I said, hear the echoes, echoes. I got a feeling that it's time to let it go, let it go. She's a stranger in our love when we call. Feed the flame cause we can't let it go. Run away, but we're running circles. Run away, run away. I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you, I guess, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running circles. Run away, run away, run away. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones that it ain't. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember that I did not know no pain. Then I believed in forever, and everything will stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say her name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, but everything gon' be alright. Go and raise your glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause your dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause your dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Do 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 do. Memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost. When I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feels like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I carry these torches for you, but you know I never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. But everything gon' be alright. Go and raise your glass and say, hey. Cheers to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause your dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones in today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nada. You're sitting pretty impatient, girl. I know you gotta put them in hours. Baby, make it harder. You're sending pic after picture, girl, give me fire. You know I'm always on the night shift, and you can stand these nights alone. Yeah, you don't need no explanation, cause baby, I'm the boss at home. I ain't gotta go to work, but I gotta put in work. I ain't gotta go to work. Let your body do the work. We can work from home. Oh. We can work from home. Oh. Let's put it in motion. Girl, give me a promotion. Let's make it feel like a vacation. Turn a bed into an ocean. We don't need nobody. I just need your body. Nothing but sheets in between us. Ain't no getting up early. You know I'm always on the night shift, and you can stand these nights alone. Yeah, you don't need no explanation, cause baby, I'm the boss at home. I ain't gotta go to work, but I gotta put in work. I ain't gotta go to work. Let your body do the work. We can work from home. We can work from home. We can work from home. Yeah. We can work from home. I don't wanna know who's taking you home, loving you so. The way I used to love you, no, I don't wanna know who's taking you home, loving you so. The way I used to love you, oh, I don't wanna know. Wasted. The more I drink, the more I think about without you. No, I can't take it. Baby, every place I go reminds me of you. Do you think of me? What we used to be? Is it better now that I'm not around? My friends are acting strange. Don't bring up your name. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? I don't wanna know, no, no, no. It's taking you home, 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 home. Loving you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, no, I don't wanna know, no, no, no. It's taking you home, 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 home. Loving you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, oh, I don't wanna know. Every time I go out, yeah, hear it from this one, hear it from that one, that you got someone new. Yeah, I see. They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, but there's a place in both in mine. You know you stopped me dead when I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. Never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. I said, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hand, my tears, and look me in my eyes. Just like a monkey, I've been dancing my life. You just beg to see me dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I'm back to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. No, 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 yeah. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, yeah. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, yeah. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again, all again. I love it when you call me a señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need ya, but every touch is your love, it's true love. Oh, I should be running. Oh, you keep me coming for you. Hiding my ending, till I was up from somewhere else with your feet off me. Before I even knew her name, la la la. If go la la la, yeah, no. Sapphire moonlight, we danced for hours in the sun, tequila sunrise. Her body feel right in my hands, la la la. It felt like oh la la la, yeah. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need you, but every touch is love. It's true love. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so damn hard to leave you, but every touch is true love. It's true love. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you keep me coming for you. I cannot hold down. There are just some things that never should. You say we just friends, but friends don't know the way you taste. La la la. Cause I know it's been a long time coming, cause you let me fall. The way you listen, dress me hooked on your tongue. Ooh, love you kisses daily, don't stop. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need you, but every touch is true love. It's true love. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so hard to leave you, but every touch is true love. It's true love. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you keep me coming for you. All along I've been coming for you, yeah. And I hope it means something to you. Call my name, I'll be coming for you. Coming for you. Coming for you. Oh yeah. Oh, she loved it when I come. Oh, yeah. Oh, you keep me coming for you. I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to save me. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way I'm not playing. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled around. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved, and I tend to close my eyes when it hurts. Sometimes I fall into your arms. I'll be safe in your sound till I come back around. So now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled around. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved, but now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled around. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. It's been 24 hours, I need more hours with you. You spent the weekend getting even, oh. We spent the late nights making things right between us. It's all good, babe. Roll that backward, babe, and pay me low. Cause girls like like you, run around with guys like me to sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Girls like you love fun and me too. I want when I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you. I spent last night on the last flight to you. We took a whole day up, trying to get way up. Ooh. We spent the daylight trying to make things right between us. And now it's all good, babe. Roll that backward, babe. Pay me close. Yeah, 'cause girls like you run around with guys like me till sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you. Yeah, yeah, girls like you love fun and me too. What I want when I come through, I need a girl like you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Maybe it's 6:45, and maybe I'm barely alive, and maybe this is really it for the last time. Maybe I know that I'm drunk, maybe I know you're the one.
I never hit go on the timer, so I don't know. I think it might have been 20 minutes by now. Not sure. Guess I can check back later. But so that goal was to like get your messages out, so you have 3 to 5 conversations that went back and forth. And then at least like we were aiming for like at least 8 hosts to post up for the day. I just hit 8. That's why I checked the timer. I was like, oh crap, I didn't set the timer. Okay, so next we're going to follow up. Okay, so this is so important, especially since it's Friday. We want to make sure we talk to every single person we talk to. If they're not answering, I literally have sent, I don't even know how many messages in a row, and then people end up answering. You have to just switch your scripts up. So like if someone hasn't answered you in the last 3 days and that you've been talking to them about the business, you could seriously message them and just be like, hey, like someone else is asking for the spot. I want to see, like, it says you're reading this. I want to check in to see if you still want to get started. Like if you're ready to get started now, today. You can say stuff like that. Some people have wrote on my host to post that haven't answered me. So like I just ended up just saying, hey, do you have time to talk now? Since you're posting on my status. You can say like, I'm sure you were super busy this week. So was I. Is this a better time to get started with your hair growth challenge? Like stuff like that. Just be like, I'm getting orders in right now. I can get your information and do it for you if that's easier. Like you can do any kind of follow-ups like that just to bring the conversation again. You can send a cute little GIF just to like make them laugh and then answer. But we'll do this for 20 minutes. I'm just going to make sure you are getting people into the VIP lounge too if you're talking to them about the business. So my business conversation has been going, do you spend at least 30 minutes a day on social media? They say yes. And then I ask them what they want the extra income for. They let me know. And then my next script talks about the business simply, or I'll send a voice message depending on if it's on an iMessage or not, or if it's on a messenger. And you can just basically, whatever they told you they want the money for, you just relate it to them. Just be personal, like it's your best friend talking to you. So I was just literally helping someone with their conversation, and they said the person needed money from music to like create music because that's their passion. So you literally start the conversation like, or you continue the conversation like, this will definitely help you fund the money for your passion. And like if this was me talking, I would say I've always wanted to open a coffee shop, and like I'm good setting the money aside because I want to do that. Like whatever your passion is, if they told you theirs and that's why they want money, you relate it to yours and say, this is what I'm doing. If you've been in the business and you have money, if you made money already, you can literally say like, I've already made like $200 from my phone. Like, this is great. I've already made thousands of dollars. I made a bonus, like whatever it is, relate to them and just say like, I'm doing this from my phone. If you're brand new, all you do is, I'm going to be making $2,000 a month. Like, that's my goal right now. Like, I can't believe this is possible from doing this from my phone. And then you go into the script of, I work 100% for my Facebook or an Instagram, social media, 100% off my phone. The team's amazing. There's so much support. Like, you just basically give them some key highlights that you're a health and wellness rep. And then what questions do you have for me? You always open it up with, what questions do you have for me? They'll come back, and usually it's, how do I get started? Or it's like some other questions. If they're familiar with network marketing, they'll ask like, do I need this? Do I need that? What's that? What's a monthly this? Blah, blah, blah. You know, you can tell by a conversation what questions they ask. But usually people just say, how do I get started? Or that sounds amazing. And then right now, like, I'm going right into explaining how to get started. Like, it's the best thing in the entire world, because you get a really good amount of products and you get like a lot of stuff. So I'm like, it's only $99. You get a business kit. You get all these samples in there. You get all this stuff in there. You could use them for your own results. It's going to help you with your own sales. I'm going to help you in a one-on-one like chat and add you to our team page. Just like, you can do this in a voice message too, right? Like, just be really pumped up about the starter price. And then if they don't have the money now, or if they're not ready yet, or if they're not sure and they're thinking about it, or they got to talk to their husband, like whatever they say to you, say, okay, well, in the meantime, I'm going to get you added into this VIP group that's behind the scenes, gives you a more deeper look about the business. Sound good? Yes. Get them into VIP Lounge, contact them tomorrow, ask them if they watched the videos. So tag them in the first video, watch the 3, tell them to watch the 3, contact them the next day, see if they watched them. You can also ask the people, do you have time to watch the videos tonight? Do you have time to watch the videos today? They're very short, 3-minute, three videos, 3 minutes. There's 3 short videos. Do you have time to watch them tonight? Yes. Okay, cool. Make sure you follow up. That's the point. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to be following up hardcore, getting distributors, getting customers, because if you've been doing everything that you're supposed to do all week, you have tons of potentials right now. And we're going to use this time to seal that deal. So if you need any help, write it in the chat. If you're watching the recording, just message us later if you need help. Okay, stop the music. Let me actually hit the timer. This is the best. I like following up the best. Following up's the best because you already know they're interested. So don't ask if they're interested. You already know that they are. So just ask them if they're ready. Like, if their spot's ready to go. You only have 2 left. Let's get started. Happy Friday. And I do like Freebie Friday. So that's another thing that's helped me. I'm like, oh, it's Friday. Like, are you ready to get your order in? Are you ready to start your business? I'm actually going to give a free gift. I always give something free on Fridays. And then people are like, oh my God, there's a free gift. Like, I have to do it today. And then I usually mail them like hydrate or greens. So like just a sample of something.
Maybe I'm thinking it's better if you try. Oh, 'cause girls like you run around with guys like me till sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Girls like you look funny, yeah. Need to what I want when I come through. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. I'm at a party I don't wanna be at, and I don't ever wear a suit and tie. Wondering if I could sneak up the back. Nobody's even looking me in my eyes. Can you take my hand, finish my drink, say shall we dance higher? You know I love you, did I ever tell ya? You make it better like that. Don't think I fit in at this party. Everyone's got too much to say. I always feel like I'm nobody who wants to fit in anyway. 'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. And you're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. 'Cause 'Cause I don't care, as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere, and you're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. We at a party we don't wanna be at. Trying to talk but we can hear ourselves. Reach your lips, I'd rather kiss them right back. With all these people all around, I'm crippled with anxiety. But I'm told it's where I'm supposed to be. You know what? It's kinda crazy cause I really don't mind. And you make it better like that. Don't think we fit in at this party. Everyone's got too much to say. Yeah. And we walked in, I said I'm sorry. But now I think that we should stay. 'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. Yeah, you're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. 'Cause I don't care, as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere, and you're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby. We couldn't turn till we were upside down. I'll be the bad guy. No, I ain't too proud. I couldn't be there, even when I tried. You don't believe it. We do this every time. See the strange in our love when it cold. Feed the flame 'cause we can't let it go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away. I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away, run away. Let go. I got a feeling that it's time to leave. I say so. I knew that this was known from the get-go. Thought that it was special, special, but it was just the sex, sex. I still hear the echoes, echoes. I got a feeling that it's time to let it go, let it go. See the strength in our love when it's cold. Feed the flame 'cause we can't let it go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away. I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away, run away. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember. Then I did not know no pain. Then I believed in forever, and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say her name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. But everything gon' be alright. Go and raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause your strings bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause your dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Do 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 do. Memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost. When I felt all the edges was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feels like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I carry these torches for you, that you know I never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. But everything gon' be alright. Go and raise your glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause your dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones that it ain't. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Do 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 do. Memories bring back you. Do 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 do. Memories bring back you. I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nada. You're sitting pretty impatient, girl. I know you gotta put them in hours. Baby, make it harder. You're sending pic after picture, girl. Give me fire. You know I'm always on the night shift, and you can stand these nights alone. Yeah, you don't need no explanation, cause baby, I'm the boss at home. I ain't gotta go to work, 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 but I gotta put in work, 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 work. I ain't gotta go to work, 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 work. Let your body do the work, 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 work. We can work from home. Oh, oh. We can work from home. Oh, oh. Let's put it in motion. Girl, give me a promotion. Let's make it feel like a vacation. Turn a bed into an ocean. We don't need nobody. I just need your body. Nothing but sheets in between us. Ain't no getting up early. You know I'm always on the night shift, and you can stand these nights alone. Yeah, you don't need no explanation, cause baby, I'm the boss at home. I ain't gotta go to work, 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 but I gotta put in work, 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 work. I ain't gotta go to work, 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 work. Let your body do the work, 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 work. We can work from home. We can work from home. We can work from home. Yeah. We can work from home. I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Loving you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, no, I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Loving you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, oh, I don't wanna know. Wasted. The more I drink, the more I think about you. No, I can't take it. Baby, every place I go reminds me of you. Do you think of me? What we used to be? Is it better now that I'm not around? My friends are acting strange. Don't bring up your name. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Love you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, no, I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Love you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, oh, I don't wanna know. Every time I go out, yeah, hear it from this one, hear it from that one, that you got someone new. Yeah, I say but don't believe it. See that in my head, you're still in my bed. Maybe I'm just a fool. Do you think of me? What we used to be? Is it better now that I'm not around? Things are acting strange. Don't bring up your name. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Love you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, no, I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Love you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, oh, I don't wanna know. No more please stop, no more hashtag boot up screenshots. No more trying to make me jealous on your birthday. You know just how I made you better on your birthday. Do you like this? Do we like this? Do we lay it down for it? Touch your like this? Matter of fact, never mind, will I let the past be? Maybe he's right now, but your body still I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Love you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, no, I don't wanna know, no, no, no. Who's taking you home, oh, oh, oh. Love you so, 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 so. The way I used to love you, oh, I don't wanna know.
Guys, make sure you're saving your host in a collection folder on Facebook, because then you can go back and like write on them and look at them again really easily. If you don't know how to do that, let me know too.
'Cause I love myself anyway. Hey, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be a good, good life. That's what my therapist say. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be a good, good life. I'm a mess, I'm a loser, I'm a hater, I'm a user, I'm a mess for your loving you. I'm obsessed, I'm embarrassed, I don't trust no one around us. I'm a mess for your loving you. Nobody shows up unless I'm paying. Have a drink on me just to the feeling. Oh, he don't love me, he don't love me, he don't love me, he don't love me, but it's okay. 'Cause I love myself anyway. Hey, everything's gonna be alright, everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be a good, good life. That's what my therapist say. Everything's gonna be alright, everything's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be a good, good life. I'm a mess, I'm a loser, I'm a hater, baby. Oh, I know I never think before I jump. You're the kind of guy that ladies want. There's a lot of cool chicks out there. I know I would say go on the phone. I never leave well enough alone. And trouble's gonna follow where I go. There's a lot of cool chicks, but one of these things is not like the others. Like a rainbow with all of the colors. Baby doll, when it comes to love, I promise that you'll never find another like me. Oh, 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 oh. I'm the only one of me. Baby, that's the fun of me. Oh, oh, oh. You're the only one of you. And baby, that's the fun of you. And I promise that nobody's gonna love you like me. I know I tend to make it about me. I know you'll never get just what you see, but I will never bore you, baby. There's a lot of lame guys out there. And when we have a fight out in the rain, you ran after me and called my name. Never wanna see you walk away. There's a lot of lame guys out there. One of these things is not like the others. Living in winter, I am your summer. Baby doll, when it comes to a lover, promise that you'll never find another like me. Oh, oh, oh. I'm the only one of me. Baby, that's the fun of me. Oh, oh, oh. You're the only one of you.
Okay, so the last 10 minutes are just going to be following up with anyone that was in your calendar from today if you didn't do that yet. And just if you don't have 8 host posts up yet, make sure you just keep using this time to get at least 8 host posts up. From that status with the fur babies, 13 people already have posted. So I think if you do like a really good status, what I noticed for like contest statuses like that is if I have some really good interaction on my page beforehand, it works really well. So like all of yesterday, if you go back to my page, you'll see like I posted 2 different recipes that were easy to do because a lot of people on my page are trying to either do keto or low carb, and they're just trying to be healthier in general, and everyone likes easy stuff. So my like chicken salad, which was I didn't even think was a big deal, I posted chicken salad on cucumbers and how I made it, and it has like so many shares and over 100 likes. It's insane for one little picture of chicken salad on cucumbers. I never thought. So that like inspired me now. That's probably my thing. Like I add from a lot of like healthy websites and like pages on Facebook, and I add from a lot of like low carb and keto, and it never like occurred to me like, why don't I just post the stuff I'm doing at home, because it might help somebody, like, and then they'll see my posts about the business too. So I went live making Cheez-Its yesterday. They're like healthy low carb Cheez-Its, and then after that I did my live post, and I got way more interaction on that than I would have if I didn't go live, because live is like Facebook's #1 feature right now. You can look at your video views. You get so many like you get notified when someone goes live on your friends list. It notifies you when someone's live. So that's a really good thing to start your day with. I did the celery juice I talked about this morning, and then I did a live post, and then I posted the contest a couple hours later, and now a lot of people are commenting on it more than if I didn't do anything all day and I just posted the contest. So just make sure you're causing interaction to your page. Find out, like, think about where you're adding people from, and what interests you have that these people have interests with too. Like if you're a mom, like maybe you do some do-it-yourself mom hacks, like something at home, like, or just follow like other bloggers and figure out what they're posting about that people are loving, and then just mimic it and do it yourself. So I think my thing is definitely easy low carb recipes or easy recipes. I actually went back on all of my cooking things that I've ever done, and I put a hashtag, cooking with CVA, and then so now if you click on my hashtag, which I'm going to post on every single video or every single post, you click on it and it opens all of my recipes. So like if I have someone that's a potential and they're like, well, I never know what to eat, blah blah blah, I can be like, well, you can first, you're going to be added to an official VIP customer group, and second, you can click on my hashtag and find ideas that I've done at home that are just simple and easy to do. So find your thing. If cooking is your thing too, do that. Like a lot of people right now are trying to be healthier, so do healthy recipes. Oh, Brett's home, so it's gonna be loud. They're gonna bark. And just find your thing. If it's like doing makeup, if it's doing your hair, like if it's posting posting do-it-yourself stuff. If it's books, like if you got people that love books and you like reading, post about the book that you're reading and talk about it. Just find your value to provide to them, and then mix in your business posts, because then they're gonna get way more hits, and just keep growing your network. All right, guys. So get back to people that today we're gonna do this for 10 minutes and get your host to post up. You can go on that thread and just make sure you have at least 8. I'm doing a tally sheet for host to post on my planner, and then just keep track of people. And don't forget to, the people that post the status for you, don't forget to mention the business to them. Be like, wait, have we talked about doing this business before? Because I feel like you'd be great at it. Something like that. And they're like, oh no, what's the business? Or, hey, since while we're here, while we're talking, like, would you be interested in talking more about the business? I'm like, you basically just did it anyway by sharing this post for me. That's how simple it is. Stuff like that. All right.
Baby, there's a funny you, and I promise that nobody's gonna love you like me. Love you like me. Love you like me.
Yeah, Cindy, for other bloggers, I look at their photos and how they pose too. That's another good idea, to get ideas and pictures.
Love you like me.
We're going to the gym. And power hour before the gym.
Oh, I'm the only one of me. Baby, that's in front of me. Oh, you're the only one of you. Baby, that's in front of you. Promise that nobody's gonna love you like me. Found you in a heartless road. I filled your cup until it overflowed. Took it so far to keep you close. I was afraid to leave you on your own. I said I'd catch you if you fall, and if they laugh, forget them all. And then I got you off your knees, put you right back on your feet, just so you could take advantage of me. Tell me how's it feel, sitting up there, feeling so high, but too far away to hold me. You know I'm the one who put you up there, name in the sky. Does it ever get lonely, thinking you could live without me, thinking you could live without me? Baby, I'm the one who put you up there. I don't know why, thinking you could live without me, live without me. Baby, I'm the one who put you up there. I don't know why. Gave love but 100 tries, just running from the demons in your mind. Then I took yours and made them mine. I didn't notice cause my love was blind. Said I'd catch you if you fall, and if they laugh, forget them all. And then I got you off your knees, put you right back on your feet, just so you can take advantage of me. Tell me how's it feel, sitting up there, feeling so high, but too far away to hold me. You know I'm the one who put you up there, name in the sky. Does it ever get lonely, thinking you could live without me, thinking you could live without me? Baby, I'm the one who put you up there. I don't know why, thinking you could live without me, live without me. Baby, I'm the one who put you up there. I don't know why, yeah. You don't have to say just what you did, I already know. I had to go and find out from them. So tell me how's it feel, Tell me how's it feel sitting up there, feeling so high, but too far away to hold me. You know I'm the one who put you up there, name in the sky. Does it ever get lonely? Thinking you could leave without me, thinking you could leave without me. Baby, I'm the one who put you up there. I don't know why. Hey. You promised the world and I fell for it. I put you first, you adored it. Set fires to my forest, and you let it burn. Sang off key in my chorus, cause it wasn't yours. I saw the signs and I ignored it. Rose-colored glasses all distorted. Set fire to my purpose, and I let it burn. You got off on my hurting when it wasn't yours. We'd always go into it blindly. I needed to lose you to find me. This dancing was killing me softly. I needed to hate you to love me. To love, yeah. To love, yeah. To love. I needed to lose you to love me. To love, yeah. To love, yeah. To love. I needed to lose you to love me. I got my all and they all know it. That you told me down and now it's showing. Too much you replaced us. Like it was easy, made me think I deserved it. In the thick of healing, yeah. We always go into it blindly. I needed to lose you to find me. This dancing was killing me softly. I needed to hate you to love me. To love, yeah. To love, yeah. To love. I needed to lose you to love me. To love, yeah. To love, yeah. To love. I needed to lose you to love me. You promised the world and I fell for it. I put you first, you adored it. Set fires to my forest, and you let it burn. Sang off key in my chorus. Oh, I needed to love you to love me. To love, yeah. To love. I needed to lose you to love me. To love, yeah. To love. I needed to lose you to love me. To love, yeah. To love. I needed to lose you to love me. Do you love the rain? Does it make you dance when you're drunk with your friends at a party? What's your favorite song? Does it make you dance? Do you think of me? When you close your eyes, tell me what are you dreaming? Everything I wanna know it all. I spent 10,000 hours and 10,000 more. Ooh, if that's what it takes to learn that sweetheart of yours. And I might never get there, but I'm gonna try. If it's 10,000 hours or the rest of my life, I'm gonna love you. Do you miss the road that you grew up on? Did you get your middle name from your grandma? When you think about you forever now, do you think of me? When you close your eyes, tell me what are you dreaming? Everything I wanna know it all. I spent 10,000 hours and 10,000 more. Oh, if that's what it takes to learn that sweetheart of yours. And I might never get there, but I'm gonna try. If it's 10,000 hours or the rest of my life, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you. Ooh, want the good and the bad, everything in between. Ooh, gotta cure my curiosity. Oh yeah, I'd spend 10,000 hours and 10,000 more. Oh, if that's what it takes to learn that sweetheart of yours. And I might never get there, but I'm gonna try. If it's 10,000 hours or the rest of my life, I'm gonna love you.
All right, so I'm going to end the Zoom. So what the moral of this working session was that we are going to retrain our brain by doing personal development every day and then following the 6 lists that Jade has. So if you have that, just make sure you have that picture saved, and then you're doing it every day, and a lot can happen by doing the same thing every day. I really like doing host to post right now for sure, and host to story on Instagram. Of course, mix in some messaging too, and then get your posts, and people are going to be, you're adding people to your network, you're going to get new people interested in your posts. But have a good Friday, and see you online.